Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Eric Finkenbinder here. Want to give you an update on my September outlook. First off, I always try to get a picture to put it in the backdrop. So we back at home in the garden, we are pulling out potatoes, getting the potato plow, hooking that up to the tractor, and pulling behind. So you can see that my daughter's pink Crocs are there. She likes to help out pull out potatoes. But I actually got this information from the farm show. I've always planted potatoes, but now these are all Lehighs that you see behind me. That variety, the Lehigh variety. So I've planted all sorts, Yukons and Russets and your red potatoes, your Norlands, and it just seems like the Lehighs are the best keepers for the winter. Anyway, that's your backdrop. As we show you that 7-day forecast, because I like to go beyond the 7-day, we did get some rain today in spots, where this is a recording of Thursday evening, September 4th. So we did get at least some parts of the mid-state. Lancaster, York, Lebanon counties really getting the beneficial rain. Farther west, not much. We could see a couple of showers Saturday. I don't think it's going to be anything substantial. But then notice moving into next week, we get a long stretch of what I do believe is going to be feeling more like fall, taking you into next week with highs in the 70s, low 70s. And I think there could actually be some nights into the 40s. Here's another update for you. This is the drought monitor. So we got some patchy areas indicating some abnormally dry conditions locally. But when you look at the big picture, we've got a lot more dry conditions, parts of Virginia, Maryland, West Virginia, Ohio. And I would say if there was one area that I would be increasingly concerned for heading towards drought conditions, at least in the near term, that would probably be the Ohio Valley. You can actually see this is the update from the Climate Prediction Center showing mid-September rain outlook. We're still looking dry, but they continue to be dealing with much drier conditions too. So not really a good outlook for the next 1 to 2 weeks. Hopefully we'll begin to see some changes here as we get into the second half of September. And here's a little bit of a reason why. So this is the temp outlook taking you into mid-September, and you see more heat building, more warmth building across the middle of the nation. And I'm going to point something out here as we show you the upper air pattern, but I'm expecting this heat to be shifting over top of us. And if you did see my September outlook earlier, I'm expecting the second half of September to be warmer than the first half of September. So it's going to be a flip-flop month. So here we go. Let me show you. There's bowling ball of cool air. We've kind of been in that a little bit. We only need to be on the southern flank of it, giving us very comfortable conditions. Then as we move into the weekend, we'll get a sort of reinforcing shot. So again, we're getting that drainage now down from Canada. We're going to get comfortably cool air. I would say this is going to feel a lot more like Wyoming, Colorado weather from Sunday into a good chunk of next week. Even next Wednesday, notice we still have this northwest flow. We're still kind of in this trough of the cooler, very dry air from Canada. Starting to see some building ridge there across the middle of the nation. I think that's why the Climate Prediction Center is showing warmer than average conditions there. As we head into the second weekend of September, or I should say September 14th, notice that ridge now is over top of us. I think that is going to be the start of what's going to be warmer than average conditions the second half of the month. So I think we're certainly not done with 80-degree days. I could even see that happening in October. Here's your update on the tropics. I still like showing this because I just think it's quite remarkable how quiet it is in the Atlantic. When we are just a few days away, I believe the climatological peak is the 10th of September. And we don't have a named storm. I do expect a named storm to be happening soon. It would be Gabrielle. You know, normally this time of the year, I typically remember we're kind of in the eyes. Isabel, Isidore, Ivan, a lot of those I named storms in early September. Right now, we'd be talking about Gabrielle. If this one forms, it likely will be here as we move into the weekend. Still some uncertainty as far as where that's going to go. So I posted this in the very beginning of September, and I haven't changed it because I think this is still going to be pretty valid here. So we are starting near to below average temperature-wise. I'm feeling more and more confident the second half of September is going to be warmer. Limited rain chances. Even when we get warmer, we will have fronts, but that is not a guarantee that we're getting more moisture. I just hope that we can get more fronts that'll be happening for us the second half of September. I do expect this to be a generally dry month. This is something new now. So the state climatologists, they post monthly outlooks and monthly sort of summaries. This is the outlook, what they call analog forecasting. So you're taking information that has happened during the month of August. You look back in history to see when that's happened before, and you come up with a forecast using analog forecasting. So again, this is from the Penn State climatologist. So they used a warm southwest United States. It was cool on the East Coast for the month of August. August was also wet in South Dakota and very dry in the Ohio Valley. So they took those, put it in their analog, and basically put out similar years, and then what happened into the fall, those corresponding years. So this is the result of that analog. So again, a warm Southwest U.S., a cool East Coast, wet South Dakota, dry Ohio Valley during the month of August. The following September to October, this is looking at rain anomalies. So looks like wetter than average conditions, pretty good there across the South. Maybe some things happening here along the Mid-Atlantic and East Coast. Maybe that's tropical influence. I'm not quite sure yet. But notice that you get in through the Ohio Valley and areas that have been very dry lately, it looks like that trend is going to continue. What about temperature-wise? A very strong correlation to warmer than average conditions. This is for the months of September and October. So that's why I said I think we're having sort of a fake fall right now in that 7-day forecast. So temperatures in the 70s during the day and 50s at night, because I expect the Northeast to be pretty warm heading into the second half of September. And right now it's also showing that October could be looking warmer. Again, this is using analog forecasting. This is the fun stuff I enjoy doing, just planning ahead, likely seeing a quick dry down with a lot of those crops, beginning to see that in some of the cornfields that were planted early. So perhaps an early harvest season, we shall see. But thank you for joining me. And of course, I'll have an update as we move into next week.